of God. Thanks be to God, and now be seated in the very presence of God. There were a lot of verses there, but the focal verse is verse 22, that says, "For at that time, day by day, there came to David to help him, until it was a great host, like the host of God." And so from that verse, we want to lift up three of those words, day by day. Day by day. You know, people today always seem to be in a hurry. Everywhere you go, people talk fast, eat fast, drive fast. If you don't believe it, get in front of them and slow it down. Folk have been killed because somebody thought they were driving too slow. Even in the church, people want to rush in, rush through, and then rush out, never taking time to fellowship. And yet those same people are always late. Late for work, late for appointments, late for things they have to do. And it seems that we live in a time of instant responses. We just flip a switch. We got instant lights. You turn a knob on a microwave and got instant dinners. We even have what they call same-day surgery. That once was a time you had to come in the hospital the day before the surgery. And then you went through the surgery, and then you had to stay in the hospital several days after the surgery. But now you come in that morning, they do the surgery, you go home that evening. We got computers now, we got instant answers to all of our questions. In sports, they got an instant replay. You don't have to miss a thing. And perhaps because we live in a time of instant responses, we think that God ought to respond in the same manner. We want to seek and find it now. We want to knock and want the door to be answered right now. We want to pray, but we want it right now. But I have discovered that God never gets in a hurry. The old folk had a saying, he may not come, who you calling? What's the rest of it? But he's always right on time. God is never too late to do what needs to be done. And I have found out that God does answer our prayers. But he does it day by day. Our focal verse begins with, "For at that time." You see, at that time, David was in danger. David was in distress. David was at the lowest point in his life. At that time, David was on the run from Saul, forced to live in the wilderness, had to hide in caves. You see, after David killed Goliath, Saul invited David in the palace to live as one of his own sons. And David grew up in the palace. And every time David went out to war, God gave David victory over his enemies. And then something happened. The women. See, they got along good. But the women started singing a song that Saul has killed his thousands, but David has killed his. Y'all know the story. Y'all know the story. Can't nothing stir up jealousy in a man like a woman. Now, I'm not here bashing women now. I'm just telling the story. Don't kill the messenger. But Saul got jealous of David. And Saul tried to kill David. And David had to run for his life, hiding in caves and living in the wilderness. David had did everything that he could to help Saul. And Saul repays David by trying to kill David. This is the same David. When he was a little boy, God helped him kill a lion and a bear. This was the same David. When Goliath challenged God's army and all the men ran for their life, David came out and killed the giant and cut his head off. This is the same David that at 12 years old, God sent Samuel back to Jesse's house. He said, I've already selected me a king. You just go down there and anoint him. And all of David's brothers came in from the tallest, and they said, look at him. The oldest brother came in tall and handsome, and he walked like a king and looked like a king. And they said, that's him? But God said, no. And the boys came in one by one. He said, do you have any other sons? He said, yeah, I got one. But you don't want to fool with him. He's out there watching sheep. He's just a little boy. He ain't good for nothing but just keeping sheep. So Samuel said, we can't sit down until you get him in here. And they brought David in. Bible, he came in running. Little dusty boy. Dirt all in his face. Feet dusty, head dusty. Dirt from head to toe. That little boy walked in looking around and they wondered, what's he coming in here for? But then when he walked in, Samuel had a cruse of oil in his head. And when David walked in and stood, the oil started shaking. He couldn't control it no more because the oil started running down on David. This is the same David that at 12 years old, he was anointed king over Israel. And now he's 30 years old, and instead of sitting on the throne, he's running for his life. At that time, all of us are going to have a at that time moment in your life. When your problems seem to get so big that there's nothing you can do, that's your at that time. When the doctor diagnosed you with a serious illness, insurance companies say they're not going to pay, give you the runaround, and you keep getting worse, that's your at that time. There was a time when I worked on a job and I worked for a man and all I wanted to do was be the best that I could be. I came in on time every day. Gave the job 110%. All I wanted to do was be a good employee, but for some reason he got jealous. He made my work life miserable. I couldn't sleep at night and hated to go to work during the day. I wanted to leave and go somewhere, but at that time, I couldn't go anywhere else. So at that time, I just had to stay there and take it. All of us gonna have a at that time moment in your life. And so it goes on to say that at that time, David was running for his life. David was praying and asking God to help me. You've been with me all this time, but here I am now out in the wilderness. help me. Saul sent an army and put a bounty on David's head. Bring him back dead or alive. And so here's David hiding in a cave. And instead of God sending David an army, instead of God sending a legion of angels to help David, God sent David just a few good men. David needed an army. He needed somebody who could back up Saul's army, but instead of God sending an army, here comes 6 or 7 brothers. But the Bible, I'm so glad the story don't end there. Because it says day by day, inch by inch, step by step, God sent a few men to David, day by day. You see, it's the day by day experience where we learn to trust God. It's day by day that we begin to have more faith in God. It's the day by day experiences where I'm learning to lean and depend on God. The songwriter said, every day with Jesus is sweeter than the day before. Every time I see a brand new day, I know I'm a little bit closer to the answer to my prayer. Every time God let me make it to the end of another day, it gives me the strength I need to face tomorrow. Every time I make it through one trial, it gives me a little more strength for the next trial. You see,